Good afternoon. The first item of business this afternoon is time for reflection, and our time for reflection leader today is Andy Hawthorne, founder and chief executive officer of the Message Trust.
Thank you. Presiding officer, thank you for the privilege of sharing a reflection today with this great Parliament. I work for the Message Trust, an unashamedly Christian charity that's developed a knack for reaching the hardest to reach for the last 2 decades. We've been working in some of England's toughest estates and have seen crime come down, churches grow and communities transformed in places that were previously spiritual wastelands. Right now we're exploring partnerships with Scottish churches to begin similar new projects here in Scotland. Over the last 20 years of doing that, I've become convinced of one thing: God hasn't finished with us yet. I can say with conviction that Tuesday the 11th of June is an exciting day in the Christian Church's history. Perhaps it's the most exciting day in our history, because almost certainly more people around the world will come to know Christ as Lord and Saviour than at any day since he rose from the dead. It's hard to believe that when you live in Scotland, one of the very few places in the world where the Christian church hasn't been growing recently. But if we lift our eyes, it's obvious that God is well and truly on the move. As recently as a century ago, 2/3 of the world's Christians lived in Europe. Now the vast majority live in Africa, South America, Asia or China. In my lifetime, the world has literally been turned upside down spiritually. When Jesus Christ said, "I will build my church and hell itself will not be able to stop it," I'm sure the religious leaders watching him suffer and die thought, "Sure thing, you're going to build a church. You've never set foot outside a country smaller than Scotland. You've never written a book. You've got no money. You've actually got hardly any followers anymore. You're dying a criminal's death. And yet you claim you're going to build a church that will spread throughout the world and go on into eternity." Well, I have good news for you today. Jesus Christ keeps his promises. All of them. And today, Tuesday the 11th of June, more people than ever will discover what I discovered almost 40 years ago: a God who delivers on his promises for the planet and his promises for individual faithful people. Promises of peace, joy and love for him and for others. A confidence of a glorious hope for the future. Now, that's what I call good news.